Hello, my name is Laruga, and I will be taking you through a short take a break yoga practice. So go ahead and get comfortable, grounding down through your sit bones, elongating through the torso, elongating through the sides of the waist, sitting nice and tall, resting the hands on the knees. We'll go ahead and take a deep inhale. Exhale. Our focus today will be on the hips as well as opening up the back a bit. So let's go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the back. Extend the arms to open up the shoulders and the chest. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Let's bring the right arm over the chest, the left arm under. Once again, opening up the shoulder area. We just want the arm to run parallel to the shoulders. Want to drop the right shoulder down. We'll just take a few breaths here. Good. Take that same arm, the right arm overhead, and then we're going to just clasp the elbow and just pull it in toward the center line of the body to once again facilitate an opening through the right shoulder. You always want to pull really gently at first and then apply pressure slowly over time just to see, where you can take that stretch. Release. We'll take the left arm over, the right arm under and through. And again, dropping the left shoulder down as I apply pressure through this hand, moving the arm close toward the chest, and breathe here. So the shoulders can hold a lot of tension, so it's good to release anything that gets locked up in that area. Good. Go ahead and release. Take the arm overhead, the left arm overhead, clasp the elbow and pull it toward the center line of the body, starting gently and applying more pressure to feel that opening through the shoulder area. Let's take one more breath. And exhale, release. Good. Let's go ahead and come onto all fours. Taking the hands under the shoulders, taking the knees under the hips. We're going to go through a few rounds of cat-cow just to release the back. So from here, inhale. Lift the hips, lift the chest and the chin, arching the back. Exhale. Round, lifting the navel up toward the spine, dropping the chin in. Inhale. And exhale. This is really good for spinal mobility. Bring the spine back to neutral. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, coming into downward facing position. Hands shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. Bring the feet about hip width apart. Inhale, lift the heels. And step the right foot forward, drop the back knee. We're going to come into a low lunge. I'm going to place the fingertips down on the mat, dropping the hips and lifting my chest to really find this extension and opening through my left hip here. So the front of the left hip. Now you can keep the back foot, the toes curled under, or if you prefer, you can always flatten the foot, having the tops of the toes down. It's really up to you. Sometimes I like to curl the toes under just to keep my hips more square. Exhale, flatten the palms and press back into downward facing. Exhale, stepping the left foot forward. Drop the back knee, the right knee. Come up onto the fingertips, lift the chest. And what we're trying to do here is just finding these opposing forces here. So I'm dropping the hips down toward the mat as I lift the chest, and this will help to open up my right hip. Breathing here, breathing into any areas of tightness that you feel. Again, either pointing the back foot or keeping the toes curled under. One more breath. And exhale, flatten the palms, lift the hips back into downward facing position for a breath. Inhale, lift the heels, step the right foot forward, drop the back knee. We're going to come up onto the fingertips just for one breath. Then inhale. I'm going to interlace the fingers, rest the palms of the hands on the thigh, and then just use that leverage to lift the chest as I sink the hips down. And this just intensifies the hip opening as I lift the chest further up. Good. One more breath. Exhale. Hands down, stepping back, downward facing position. Take a breath. Inhale, step the left foot forward, back knee down, up on fingertips. One breath. Inhale, exhale, interlace the fingers, press the palms down in the thigh. Continue to lift the chest as the hips sink down toward the mat. Draw the lower belly in and continue to breathe. Inhale, exhale, hands down, pressing back, downward facing position. We're going to continue and repeat. Lift the heels, right foot forward, back knee down, fingertips for one breath. Then inhale, exhale, interlace the fingers for another breath. Then from here, inhale, exhale. I'm going to take the arms down and roll the shoulders back. Take a breath, drawing the lower belly in so there's more support through the low back. And then from here, I'm going to sweep the arms overhead. And then exhale, just slightly leaning back. Just only go back to as far as you can stay stable. This is really opening up the back as well as the hip of the back leg. Breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back upright, hands down. Press through the hands, lift the hips, downward facing. Inhale, step the left foot forward. The back knee down, fingertips for a breath. Lift the chest, interlace the fingers. Press the palms into the thigh. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, hands down, arms down. Roll the shoulders back, take a breath. Remember to draw the lower belly in. Then inhale, arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, stretch backward, only as far as you can stay stable. Big opening through the right hip. Inhale, exhale, coming back upright. Hands down, stepping back. Downward facing position. Now from here, we're going to come into pigeon. So I'm going to bring my right leg forward. And for this pose, you can work in many different degrees. So if you feel, oh, I have a lot of tightness in my hip, bring the heel closer to the opposite hip here. If you feel rather open, you can run the shin bone parallel to the front edge of the mat. So you can work in any degree here where you feel that you can ground and settle into the pose. Again, with the back foot, we can curl the toes under, or you can point the back foot. And what we'll do is just stay up on our fingertips, keeping the back leg active and trying to square the hips. So right hip back, left hip slightly forward. Breathing. One more breath. Exhale, let's come down onto the elbows. So once we come to the elbows, we're just intensifying the stretch that we feel in the right hip. And breathing here. Breathing into any areas of tightness or tension. One more breath. And exhale, we're going to try to lay flat this time. So really stretching the arms forward and then dropping the forehead down. And this again will just intensify the stretch. If it's too much, you can always go back to one of the other options, fingertips or elbows down. And continue to breathe. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, just take it back to the elbows. One breath. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips down. One breath here. And flatten the palms. Lean over the arms, curl the back foot under, and lift up into downward facing position. Inhale. Coming into pigeon on the left side. So back foot can be curled under, the back toes curled under or pointed. We'll come up onto the fingertips and breathe here. So remember that this heel can come closer to this hip. If you feel that you need, you feel a little extra tension in the hip, so whatever degree you're working with is absolutely okay. If you're more open, the front shin bone parallel to the front edge of the mat. Draw the lower belly in, lift the chest, keep the back leg active. Continue to breathe consciously. Inhale. Exhale. Gently dropping down to elbows. Breathing here. So as we drop further down, it just intensifies the opening in the hip. Once again, breathing into any areas of tension or resistance. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, really stretching the arms forward and dropping the forehead down. Taking things a little bit deeper. Continue to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, coming up onto the elbows. We'll take a breath here. Inhale, fingertips. Lifting the chest. Take a breath here. Good. Then flatten the palms. Curl the back foot under and lift the hips. Downward facing position. Take a breath. So from here, I'm going to come to a seated position. So just stepping one foot forward and then the other, and then gently dropping the hips down toward the floor. So we're going to just do a few half bridges here. So laying down. So what you want to do here is bend the knees and just place your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. So you should be able to see the outer edges of your feet, and you want to also be able to gently touch the backs of your heels. I want to really carve out my waist, draw and drop the navel down just slightly as I tone my pelvic floor. And so we're going to do a nice and easy half bridge here. So I'm going to bend my arms 90 degrees and really ground the upper arms down into the floor. I'm going to feel that connection of my feet and inhale, begin to ground the upper arms, ground my feet, lift the hips upward. So hip points moving up toward the ceiling and my heart center moving toward my chin and breathing here. Inhale, exhale. Lower the hips and then just let the arms relax, taking a few breaths rest. We're going to set up for our second half bridge. This time we're going to just reach for the backs of the heels and really press the arms down into the floor. Inhale, ground through the feet, start to lift the hips, and we're going to roll the shoulders under and really get the shoulders under so you can expand through the chest. Feel the power of the legs as the hip points move up toward the ceiling, heart center toward your chin. Breathing here. One more breath. Inhale, exhale. Gently lower. We'll just take a few breaths. And setting up for the last one. This time we will interlace the fingers and really roll the shoulders under even further if possible. So ground through your feet and power through the legs. Inhale, lift the hips, bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders under. And you might even have to do a few extra movements to get the shoulders under fully. Again, extend through the legs, ground through the feet, open the chest, heart center toward the chin, and breathe. One more breath. And exhale. Drop the hips, release the shoulders. Good. So from here, let's go ahead and just hug the knees in to the chest to release the back. We're going to extend the left leg and just hug in the right knee. So this will also release the low back, but also release the hip flexors. Good. Then hugging both knees in again. And extending the right leg, hugging the left. Once again, hugging both knees in. Take a breath. And then releasing both legs, resting position. The hands facing up toward the ceiling, the thighs rolling out. Really feeling the back body sink down into the floor as you release all conscious control of the breath. Close the eyes. Allow the body to let go.